Hi everyone. This video will show you the actual experimental steps and data collected for evaluating the cost effectiveness of Antacid's lab. When the video focuses on specific measurements of volumes in the burette, please record those values in your Antacid Titration Lab report. The two antacids we will be testing are Tums and Rolates. You will need the cost and quantity information for each antacid, which is given here. In the video, we will start the experiment with Tums and follow it with Rolates. Please make sure you note that in your lab report. We start by weighing about 0.3 to 0.4 grams of crushed powdered form of each antacid. The antacid tablets can be ground to fine powder using a mortar and pestle as shown here for Tums. We start by tearing the balance so the reading is 0. Then, we place an empty Erlenmeyer flask. We then add the Tums powder into the flask and weigh it again. Here's a closer look at the Tums powder in the flask. Next, we repeat the procedure by weighing a new empty Erlenmeyer flask. We then add some Rolates powder to the flask and weigh it again. We add approximately 40 milliliters of hydrochloric acid to each flask containing the antacid. The molarity of the HCl is shown here on the reagent bottle. The addition of the HCl is done through a burette. This is the initial volume of the HCl in the burette, and the meniscus is marked by a red arrow. And this is the final volume of HCl used for Tums. Right after Tums, we refill the burette with HCl and remeasure the initial volume. We add HCl to the Rolates flask, and here's the final volume. We then heat each mixture under a Bunsen burner to help dissolve the antacid and evaporate any dissolved carbon dioxide gas. To get ready for the titration, we add 6 drops of bromophenol blue to each of the flasks. Once the solution cools down to touch, we start the titration with NaOH. The reagent bottle containing the sodium hydroxide is shown here. The concentration of the sodium hydroxide is the handwritten number at the top. The titration will be done with a burette as well. Here's the initial volume of the NaOH before the titration. We add the NaOH through the burette until the color of the indicator changes to light purple, which marks the endpoint of the indicator. The volume of the NaOH in the burette at this point is shown. Your procedure states that back titration with HCl may be necessary if you titrate beyond the correct endpoint. In this case, there was no error, so no back titration was done. We then repeat the titration with the Rolate sample. The initial volume of NaOH in the burette is shown here. Just like earlier, the titration was done until we reached the endpoint of the bromophenol blue. The final volume of the NaOH in the burette is shown here. You can now use all the data given in this video to compare the cost effectiveness of Tums to Rolates.